Grab a towel and your best pool chair. It's time to get reading. Here are a few good reads that you can have this summer.
Time for some summer reads. I have with me Tanya Batson Savage. Good morning. And she's an avid reader, although she says she doesn't get a lot of time to get into her reading these days, just like me, I suppose. But she's better suited to tell us all about the books that we're supposed to be reading for this summer. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Welcome to Weekend Smile.
Thank you all for having me.
Okay, I see you come with a pile.
A pile.
A pile. How many of them have you gotten through? Or this is your list to go through?
There is one, the August Stone, that I am still reading.
Yeah?
That is really on my summer list, in that I'm reading that this summer, for sure.
I know the books me interested in right now.
Oh, wow.
So the shirt that you have on, just open it for me now, please. I read blouse and skirt books.
I like it. I never ever noticed it. That's good. So, do you think as Jamaicans we have a culture of reading, that we read enough?
I think there are many people who are interested in reading, and I think one of the things I believe passionately is that we often say Jamaicans don't read, and that's because we're not making it easy enough for us to read. You know, we're not putting out enough books that reflect us, and that's a huge part of what I do. And we're not getting people to know about what is there. It's harder to find books in bookstores. I mean, that's changing a bit now, because you have some cool bookstores, like for kids, there's Cozy Corner Books. For adults, there's Bookophilia, and they focus on books for pleasure or books for self-help, that kind of thing, as opposed to most other bookstores largely focus on textbooks. So if you're not going to school, you don't have business in there. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, a lot of people use the excuse that I'm busy with work, I have this responsibility, I have that responsibility. How can they
carve out
time, find time to read? Because if you're not reading for advancement, some people don't read any at all.
You could read sometimes when you can't find anything on Netflix to watch, you know that time when you're going through the channels, when you know there's nothing, I mean, and sometimes it's about just reading a little bit. You can have a book that you're doing. You don't have to read all day if you're not that kind of person, but you can read a little bit. I found I used to read more when I used to take the bus, because I found that downtime, what you're doing in there, either going to listen to somebody preaching or whatever, or read,
Yeah, that makes sense. I love that.
Like, I want strong this morning.
I know, right? When I can't watch, and watch everything there is to watch on Netflix. All right, the list of books that you have, this is your summer reading list, or is this the book, the list that you're recommending?
It's a list that I'm recommending, and one of them is actually on my summer list.
Okay, well, let's get through them. Tell us what your recommendation.
Okay, now first I have to declare self-interest, right? Because I'm a publisher, which is why I wear this book. Because our company is Blouse and Skirt Books. All right. So one of them is The Beast of Kikuyu, and it's set in Trinidad. It's written by the gentleman who won the Commonwealth Short Story Prize last year. It's a really great book.
Housen.
It's it has murder, mystery, that whole thing, and it's just very Caribbean. Like, you're reading it, it's very Trinidadian, but it's also very Caribbean. It's about, a lot of bad things happen in the Caribbean, and we just take it and we say it's hot but hush and move on without trying to make change. And it's about, a girl who tries to do a little differently, and then she realized, life isn't like TV. It's not all black and white. It's not good versus evil.
True.
Yeah, the Trini writers are very good. I remember in high school I read Green Days by the River, the best book.
I think we all read that book.
I love that book, and that book opened my eyes to a lot of things. And I think, can reading change one's perspective of the world?
It changes perspective of the world all the time, because a part of the thing is you can read things that you only know about, or you can read things that are different. And I don't remember the name of the one who said that, but she said books should be windows and they should be mirrors. So you should read things that reflect your world, and that's very important. And you could read things that show you new things, that show you new ideas, that let you understand things. You come upon a person whom you would just sit down the road and somebody explains to you why this man would wear this shirt and wear these pants and what that means to him and how it reflects him. That's what I'm saying. You get deep into the person, and it allows you to understand the world on a whole different level, you know, and it just helps you to think better, you know, which is why we should read.
True. What's next on the list?
Next on the list, and because he mentioned classics, I'm going to do this classic here, which is Summer Lightning, right? And it's one of those that we do as school books. And for instance, I didn't do it as a school book. I read it a couple of summers ago, and it is a really amazing book, right? And it's, you know, the first story, which I'm not going to really tell you about because I don't think I can tell you about it on TV, makes you go, whoa, you know, but it's a really great collection.
Sure, I'm going to tick them off.
Yeah.
Before you go further, cross-reading. How does one retain the information when you're reading multiple books?
You know, the
You
brain
can do that? You
is
read what I want.
you can read what I want.
Negative, me can't do that.
But it's up to you what works with you. But you know, the thing is, the brain is an amazing machine, and all we're doing as humans is trying to replicate what the brain can do and do it better. And it's amazing that you will read something and years later you remember it. It works the same way, that you're not always thinking about what you're remembering, but you remember it anyway. You know, yes.
Makes sense. Well, I mean,
can't do that.
reading should be easy for you though, because you
I
remember
love to read.
lines.
I
and all
love
that
to read.
stuff.
Yeah, I do, and that's why I think I love to read. But now, because we're doing so much work, I think the work takes precedence, and I have scripts to read.
Yes.
I have those things to do.
Exactly.
So it's still reading. It's just not reading for entertainment like that in that way. So I mean, yeah, I'll get through probably 6 or 7 books. Now we have a lot of this upsurge, I think, of Jamaican authors, and one being Marlon, who's just at the top at the moment. What would you say to people who feel that kind of inspiration, that little niggle that say maybe I can write something?
I say write. The only way to become a writer is to write, you know, and there are more opportunities now for you to write from home or to learn things. And I mean, you know, if you're not yet ready to take on a novel, write a short story. You know, write flash fiction. This is the age where people are writing Twitter stories. You know, and this is when it was at 140 characters. People were writing stories. You know, if you think about it, if you do a Twitter post, do 5 Twitter posts for the day, that adds up. You know, and then the next day you do another 5, and then the next day. So you know, do it.
And people follow that and just follow this story all the way through.
I'm glad you mentioned Twitter. People have access to your phones readily. How much will that pull people away from actually reading books, actual books?
It doesn't pull away. It can complement. You know, it was one of the great fears in publishing that ebooks was going to take away from physical books altogether, and that hasn't happened. What people have done is that they find they're complementary. So there are books that I buy on Kindle version, there are books that I buy physical versions, and I'm particular about having physical versions of my Caribbean books, because those I want on a bookshelf. And there are people who there's something about the feel of a book.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know, and
because I have my Kindle.
that.
My Kindle is like my bestie. But the fact is, some books I just still want in paper form. All right, let's try and get through the list.
Yes.
So what's next?
Yes. So this that I have here is Come Let Us Sing Anyway. Now this is by Leon Ross, and a lot of Jamaicans don't know her, but she is Jamaican.
Oh,
actually,
awesome.
yes, she is. She's in the UK, and she is.
Yeah.
This collection is one of the best collections I have ever read, hands down.
All right, we'll have to remember her.
She is sexy. She's forthright. She is wickedness in the good way, of course.
Yes, of course. And so we have 4 more?
Yes, let's do this quick. Right, some of these are just, you know.
Yeah.
For sure, right. So,
Okay.
one of the big boys, Augustone, Kaimela. Kaimela is right now one of our most celebrated authors. And
Yes.
Augustone is a really great book. It's the one I'm currently reading.
That's the one that's you're reading.
And it takes history and it takes the present. It looks at Bedward and it looks at 1982 Augustone. And basically what it's saying is, you know, for all the change we are going, nothing really changed.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we're going to have to put the rest of them up because we chat out the whole time. Sorry, we were all interested in the books. But we're going to put the full list up on our Instagram page with all of them so everybody can follow them. And of course, make sure you read Blouse and Skirt books. Got that? See what I did there? Thank you so much for stopping by, Tanya. We appreciate it. And look through one of them book there.
Publisher and author Tanya Batson Savage.
The struggle, The summer continues on Weekend Smile Best of Series after the break.